Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivadhatari Gopijana Vallabha Girivadhatari Yashodanandana Vrajadana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajadana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Kunja Madhava Gopijana Vallabha Girivadhatari Yashodanandana Vrajadana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivajigacharya Asasatu Shri Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivajigacharya Asasatu Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Prem Sikaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Ki Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Yamuna Devi Ki Ganga Devi Ki Bhakti Devi Ki Tulsi Devi Ki Vrindavan Dham Ki Mayapur Dham Ki Sankirtan Yagya Ki Gaur Premanandi all glories the assembled devotees. All glories the assembled devotees, all glories the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Let's tell you they should turn it. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 54, Text 48, chapter entitled The Marriage of Krishna and Rukmini. Yata Shayana Atmanam Vishayan Palamevacha Anubhukte Pyasatyarte Tat Apochya Buddho Bhavam Yata Shayanam Atmanam Vishayan Palamevacha Anubhukte Pyasatyarte Tata Pochya Buddho Bhavam. Please chant. Yathatmanam Vacha Tata Buddha. Yathatmanam Atmanam Vishayam Samamevacha Anubhukte. Atmanam Cha Anubhukte Pyasatyarte Buddho Bhavan Yata Shayana Atmanam Yam Ram Evacha Anubhukte Pyasatyarte Tata Pochya Buddho Bhavam Yata as Shayana, a sleeping person, Atmanam, himself, Vishayan, sense objects, Palam, the fruits, Eva, indeed, Cha, also, Anubhukte, experiences, Api, even, Asati arte, in that which is not real, Tata, so, Apnoti, undergoes, Abudha, the unintelligent, Bhavam, material existence. Translation: as a sleeping person perceives himself, the objects of sense enjoyment, and the fruits of his acts within the illusion of a dream, so one who is unintelligent undergoes material existence. Please read together. As a sleeping person perceives himself, the objects of sense enjoyment, and the fruits of his acts within the illusion of a dream, so one who is unintelligent undergoes material existence. Purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. As stated in Shruti Asangoyayam Purusha, the living being has no intimate connection with the material world. This point is explained in the present verse. A similar statement is found in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Arteya Vidyamanepi Samshmitirna Nivartate Jayato Vishayan Asya Swapne Nartagamo Yata. For one who is meditating on sense gratification, material life, although lacking factual existence, does not go away, just as the unpleasant experiences of a dream do not go away. And we have some commentaries also, since that's a very short commentary. And then our acharyas have given some. Let's see, where is, oh, here we go. All right, so Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, from the let's see, well, that, of course, they have copied his purport here, the beginning of it, so it's very, very similar about the dreams, how we so much are affected by dreams. Of course, what we are thinking of in the day, what we see, what we've heard, seen on social media, what we've seen in the news, so much of what is happening in our consciousness, like it says, it doesn't go away. Even the dream is so much affects us, and we know, especially if we have a frightening dream, if we have a dream that someone is chasing us, or that a tsunami is coming upon us, or like all the floods that are occurring, or fire, if we dream, we will be woken by the dream. Our heart will palpitate. And first of all, Om Jnana-timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshu Unmilitam Gena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. So anyway, how we're affected, and our heart will start palpitating quickly, and we'll be awoken, and we'll be sweating, and we may not be able to go back to sleep, and we are affected. And then sometimes there's very pleasant dreams that we're dreaming that we are engaging in wonderful sense gratification. And then we wake up and we're like, oh no, it's just a dream. And now back to the daily grind of life. So whatever it is. But now these verses are telling that it's all a dream. Like our waking state is also a dream, because it's an illusion, because this material world is temporary and our body is temporary. So this knowledge is so valuable. And this is the ABCs of Krishna consciousness. This is the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And yet, and I know many times there's a tendency to dismiss it, like this is so rudimentary that, I want to hear like nectar, not just that I'm not this body, but if we think of it, what it takes to have that realization, it's a very, very deep realization, because it's stated here that there is an intimate, we've been reading how there's very, very intimate connection with the body and our identification with that body. Although we've had millions of bodies and we have identified with all of those bodies, and we think so much that this is me, and so much planning for the body, and of course for the maintenance of the body. But why do we maintain the body? We maintain the body because the soul is situated within the body. So so it's we see that, wow, no matter how long we are devotee, no matter how much we have studied, still to actually realize this point that I'm not this body. like Santosh Prabhu yesterday in his class, I thought it was quite pertinent that he was feeling ill and feeling unprepared, and like he always is apologetic, but like he said, but still, what is there to do? Still, I'm doing my service, unless one is very ill, like incapacitated, still there's always service to be done. Even if one cannot do physical service, one always at least can chant Hare Krishna and at least chant in one's mind, or hear. We can always hear. We can maybe read, but certain things, like we push beyond. That's like waking up in the morning. Most people are tired very early in the morning, but then to realize I'm not the body, we push beyond that initial fatigue and realize the importance of rising early for sadhana bhakti. And that's like a step in the direction of being free of the bodily conception, because all of the bodily, all the relationships that we have, all of the people that we love, all of the people that we don't love, that offend us or annoy us, all of it is an illusion, and it's all very, very, very temporary, because, like I say, millions of lifetimes. So and yet we give so much importance to what is now within our sphere of this body. And so Balaram, he is such a wonderful mediator. Like, this is his service. He's always trying to mediate. And he wants to, stop fighting. And here, like, he comes and like, Rukmi, he's now our brother-in-law. So this isn't nice to do this to a family member. So there's different points of view on this. Like he said, whatever he does, he's our family member. Even though we hear that, like an ideal king, he'll even punish his own son if he's a wrongdoer, and he will award someone, even not really willing, but if a person is innocent. And there's the Ravel family. Some of you know them from upstate New York. Big family, joint family. They have 7 brothers and 1 sister in India. They all live together. And then we used to visit them now and then when we'd be traveling that way. And they're very hospitable and big family. Now lots of children, because whenever a child reaches 13, they build another room on the house for the teenager. So it keeps expanding. But besides that, I said, where's your brother? One of the boys wasn't there. And they said, he got divorced, so we don't allow him here because we want to set a good example for our children. And I thought, wow, what about the other example? That we're family, and even if you fall down, even if you have committed like that was considered a grave offense, grave sin to them. But we're family, so we're here to support you in life no matter what. So anyway, there's 2 sides of the story, 2 ways to look at it. And, they had one point. They want to set an ideal life of following scripture and rules and regulations. Like almost all of them are initiated devotees, and so that's their stance anyway. But I thought, wow, that's really harsh in my view. So anyway, now Balaram, I love that he's a mediator. Here he comes. And he's saying that Krishna, that's not proper. And then Rukmini, you're like a high-minded personality, a high-minded woman. You shouldn't succumb to this this attachment to your brother and this kind of lamentation we've been hearing, like you're above that, because you see, like preaching, you preach according to somebody's capacity to hear it. Like, for example, when we know about the big fight between Bhima and let's see who was. Oh yeah, Duryodhan and Bhima saying, big fight, and Balaram went. He's like, you've been fighting for days now, and Bhima, he is the strongest. He's very strong, but Duryodhan is expert. He's much more dexterous and artistic, in the martial art of fighting with a club. So neither of you are going to win because you're both equally matched and you're fighting on and on and on. So time to stop the fighting. And they're like, sorry, Balaram, no way. Like, they hate each other so much, and they remember from years, from their whole life, since they're children, remembering the animosity. And, Bhima, like, he's just waiting for revenge for all the ills that Duryodhana did to him. And so they wouldn't listen to Balaram. So you see, their advice was, his advice was not accepted in that situation. But here, Rukmini, he's expecting, you'll accept this advice, because you are so noble. And it's saying here that, and also another time, Balaram, when this was like, he tried when the marriage of Samba, Duryodhan had a daughter, Lakshmana. She had a Swayambara ceremony, and Samba, Krishna's son from Jambavati, he went and kidnapped her right out of the Swayambara, although she's not inclined. Like, you think, wow, who wouldn't want to marry Krishna's son? Like, they say that his sons had qualities of him, but still, she was not inclined, because beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And he just snatched her away, put her on his chariot. Of course, Rukmini, we're hearing, she was very desirous of that, and she requested that Krishna kidnap her. But Lakshmana, she didn't want to be kidnapped, but Samba took her away. And then when her father, Duryodhan, saw this, they were outraged, like the audacity of this young boy. How can he do that? Especially, she didn't choose him. A Swayambara is the opportunity for the girl to choose her husband. And he just snatched her away, so we should arrest him. We don't want to kill him, because now she can't marry anybody else because she's been touched by Samba. No one else will marry her, so she has to marry him. So we can't kill him, but we're going to arrest him, teach him a good lesson. So the great Maharatis, they went after him. Like, this is totally unfair, that 5 great warriors, they go and start chasing him. He was on his chariot, and they got on their chariots, and they started going after him. And then finally, like, they were saying, like, stop. All right, stop and fight with us, And so when a Kshatriya hears that, they immediately stop and take up the challenge. So this was with the permission of Bhishma and Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana. Then all Maharatis, they went to fight Karna, Shalya, Bharishrava, Yagyashetu, and Duryodhan, sorry. So they finally, he's like, okay, I'll stand and fight. And he started fighting with all 5 Maharatis, very similar. We know Arjuna's son Abhimanyu was killed by 6 Maharatis, which is unfair, because you're supposed to fight one-on-one with equals. So he was so good. And, the Kshatriyas, they always appreciate a good fight. Like they were praising, wow, what a great warrior, fighter he is, and so, and how very, very talented. But they just really ganged up on him and destroyed his chariot, killed his horses, and then main thing, cut his, he had bow and arrow, so they cut his bowstring, so no more ability to fight. They're able to arrest him. So now Narada, he's just as Balaram is a great mediator, Narada Muni is a great instigator. He likes to like speed things up and spread the news. So he immediately went to Dwarka and told the members of the Yadu dynasty all about what happened. So now they're like, and they were thinking, oh, I bet the Yadu dynasty, they're going to come and get Samba, and they're going to come to fight us. But Balaram's like, that's what they were expecting. He said, no, we shouldn't fight. We're actually family. So I'm going to go there, and I will just, meet with them and mediate with them and tell them that after all, you see, it's Kali Yuga, and Kali Yuga is symptomized by quarrel and hypocrisy. So it's natural that there's going to be quarrel, but let me go and see the situation and see if we can settle by mutual understanding, and then we don't have to have a fight at all. And so that's what he did, and he went along. He took some Brahmins with him, and he was, he camped outside the city in a cottage, and then he went to meet with them, and they were so, like we talk about the receptivity, how even the Supreme Lord himself, Lord Balaram, who is being so compassionate, some people won't accept it, these people, although they know him. We know he didn't fight in the Battle of Kurukshetra. He's actually a pacifist in many ways. So then Lord Balaram, he, in a great voice and very patiently, he said, my dear friends, this time I've come to you as a messenger with the order of the all-powerful King Ugrasena. So he's saying, I'm just a messenger, and this is his order. So without wasting any time, please bring, our son Samba, and also his your daughter, and then bring them so that we can have a wedding and there won't be any disturbance to our good relationship. And he was speaking, strongly but patiently. So can you please immediately release them, because Samba is pious and you have unfairly arrested him with 5 Maharatis. So now when Balaram spoke like that, then the leaders of the Kuru dynasty, they became angry, and they said, hello, these words are very astonishing, but quite befitting the age of Kali. Otherwise, how could Balaram speak so vituperaously? And so that means bitterly and abusively. So the language and tone used by Balaram are simply abusive, and due to the influence of this age, it appears that the shoes befitting the feet want to rise to the top of the head where the helmet is born. We are connected with the Yadu dynasty by marriage, and because of this, they have been given the chance to come live with us, dine with us, and sleep with us. Now they are taking advantage of these privileges. They have practically no position. They had no position before we gave them a portion of our kingdom to rule, and now they are trying to command us. We have allowed the Yadu dynasty to use the royal insignias like the whisk, fan, conch shell, white umbrella, crown, royal throne, sitting place, bedstead, and everything befitting the royal order. They should not have been given this paraphernalia, but now we didn't check them because of our family relationship, but now they have this audacity to come here and command us. So we cannot allow this at all. It's only because of us. So Balaram, they went on, and he refuted all of their arguments, like what are you thinking? Like, how can you say this? You know, how Krishna is like only because of your mercy that he has this kind of status. But no, he's the supreme personality of God, that even, the demigods worship him. And so he became angry, and he's there. It's so regrettable that these fools consider us, the members of the Yadu dynasty, to be like shoes and themselves like helmets. So anyway, it went on and on, the conversation, and he said, it'll be improper on my part to just ignore this and to just allow them to go on thinking the way they do. So from this day, I'll rid the whole world of any trace of the Kuru dynasty. I will finish them all off immediately. And Balaram was so furious, he looked as if he could burn the whole cosmic creation to ashes. So he stood up, and then with his plow began striking the earth with it, separating the whole city of Hastinapur from the earth, and began to drag the whole city into the Ganges. And so that's why there are many different tributaries, just like later previously he had done with the Yamuna River. So anyway, it's not a lot of time, but we see the audacity and how he tried. He said, let's not go fight with them. Let's just go and peacefully speak with them, And so we see that how wonderful Balaram is and how compassionate. Now, we see I thought it was quite interesting here. In this verse, it says that first of all, how a sleeping person perceives everything as reality, but an unintelligent person undergoes material existence. Now, what does intelligence have to do with it? Because what is intelligence, first of all? We have a feeling of what intelligence is, don't we? The intelligence is the next door neighbor of the soul, and the intelligence is superior to the mind, but not superior to the soul. So according to the dictionary, the intelligence is the ability to acquire and apply knowledge and skills. And it also means the collection of information of military or political value. So intelligence, like we say, the chief of military intelligence. So this is the definition of intelligence. But we have different definitions of intelligence. And in Bhagavad Gita, there are so many definitions of intelligence, and also how, first of all, one cannot be Krishna conscious unless he's intelligent. At the same time, intelligence is not at all a precursor for being devoted. Just because one is intelligent doesn't mean that he is a great devotee. And at the same time, intelligence is essential for executing Krishna consciousness, because intelligence is what tells us what is favorable and what is not favorable, because the mind is always making plans, right? How, like we see, material intelligence, that requires intelligence. The mind desires, that's it. The mind desires, and then the intelligence gives direction to the mind how to execute our desires. So we see material intelligence is all about like how to enjoy the senses and how to get ahead and in the material world, and how to how to just become the lords of this world, because that's what we want. So what happens is the intelligence becomes covered, though, just like it's in the 3rd chapter. It says, just as the embryo is covered by the womb, a mirror is covered by dust, fire is covered by smoke. The embryo, the mirror, the fire, it's all there in its pure state, but it's covered by these other elements, by the embryo, dust, and smoke. So it can't be perceived. So we also are pure spirit soul, but we cannot perceive it either in ourselves or in others, because we are also covered by what? By false ego and by false identification with the body, and so very deep. But this, let me see, intelligence. But here in Bhagavad Gita, we see, hold on. Okay, like how we can be carried away by lack of intelligence, not using it. Although intelligence being the next door neighbor, isn't that a nice way of putting it? The next door neighbor of the spirit soul. So in other words, spirit soul's always there, and he's given, like he's said, from me come knowledge, remembrance, forgetfulness, and he's giving that direction. Either way, you want to enjoy the material world, you want to be the Lord, you want to stay here, you want to suffer. Okay, well, if that's what you want, you have free will, I'll help you achieve that. And then he gives direction for one who is wanting to be a devotee, because we know the holy name is very potent, and so he is encouraging us as the super soul, encouraging the intelligence. So one thing, so by intelligence, one becomes free of material bondage, and it's just like a boat. Like intelligence is, like we say, the body is a boat, and then there are the sails, the favorable breezes, the spiritual master, and the scriptures. But it's also, intelligence can sometimes be compared to a boat as well. And just seeing the index here, how much it's mentioned. It says demons have a lack of intelligence, and also it's actually the intelligence 819. It says that it's in the mode of goodness. So let's see what it says there, because I just was saying, is that the mode of goodness? Oh yeah. So here it's saying that understanding by which one knows what ought to be done and what ought not to be done, what to be feared and what not to be feared, what is binding and what is liberating, that is in the mode of goodness. And so this is understanding which discriminates by intelligence, is situated in the mode of goodness. And we know the intelligence of those who are irresolute, who are there's many branched intelligence, and then irresolute. That irresolute means many branched. So then it's recommended one becomes very strong in his intelligence. And then and then of course lust. That's one of the strategic places of the sitting places of lust, is in the intelligence. Like when Arjuna asked, how can I, this lust seems informidable, how can I possibly conquer it? And where is it? How do I find it? So Krishna is telling the seating places. So intelligence is one of those seating places also. And origin. So it's a very essential ingredient to use in our spiritual life, to use the use the intelligence. So now just think like how incredible and valuable this very preliminary knowledge is, and how we take it for granted, but how like most of the world is totally devoid of this knowledge. And so what kind of fear that creates in the mind, thinking I'm going to die, and that I am suffering, and I can't fulfill my desires, like unlimited kinds of suffering. But just by transcendental knowledge, one can be freed, and we can't fathom like how much relief that is to have this knowledge. And that's why we go out into public and try to wake up sleeping souls. We know that some of us, like myself, were often sleeping also, but in the mode of ignorance, which is the bodily identification. But when one hears the holy name, it like a spark ignites within the soul, and one is on the path of coming to become a devotee. And then what to speak also when one receives transcendental knowledge in the form of Srila Prabhupada's books, that's how most of us came, from hearing transcendental knowledge. And then we begin to wake up from the slumber, and we begin to understand our true position like that. So let me see. Because we have very intimate connection, and so all this Bhagavatam is the king. It is the Grantaraj, the king of all books, and gives us that knowledge as well. All glories to Srimad Bhagavatam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, Shri Shri Radha Golokananda ki. It's all right, I just do what I can.
Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Kandar Ako Vidamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Angani Yasa Sakalen Driya Priti Manti Vasyan Dipan Dikayanti Jiram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Jimate Bhakti Vedanta Samme Niti Namane Namaste, Saraswati Deve, Gauravani Vacha, Nirvisesha, Shunyavadi, Asachagade, Satarande. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nanda Sri Advaita Gadada Shiva Sati Gauravakta Vrinda Sri Krishna Chaitanya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Shiva Sati Gauravakta Vrinda Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Shiva Sati Gauravakta Vrinda Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Shiva Sati Gauravakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hati Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hati Rama 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 Hare Hare Hati Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hati Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Bhakti Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Bhakti Ram 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 Hare Hare Radha Goloka Nana Radha Goloka Nana Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jai Om Vishnu Pad. Radha Krishna, Gopi Gopidan, Sayama Kunda, Radha Kunda, Giri Govardhan. Vrindavanam Kijai, Majoradam Kijai, Jagadada Sami Kijai, Parmari Kijai, Shrimati Galasa Devi Kijai, Samaveda Bhakta Vrindikachara Gaur Premananda Haribo. All glory is the assembled devotees. All glory is the assembled devotees. All glory is the assembled devotees. All glory is to Shri Guru and Gauranga Srila Prabhupada.
Shreya Kairavya Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam Pratipanam Purnamrita Swadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. Beautiful. Namakari Bauda Sarva Shaktis Tatrapita Niyamita Smaranena Kala Etadrishita Vakripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaiva Midrishami Hajjani Nanuraga Trinada Pisunichena Tarora Pisuhishuna Amani Namanadena Kirtaniya Sadahari Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Vajagadisha Kamae Mama Janmani Janmani Ishvare Bhavatad Bhaktir Ahoitaki Twai Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Mam Vishamevavam Buddha Kripayata Vabada Pankaja Stita Duli Sajashim Vachintaya Nayanam Gadashru Daraya Varanam Gad Gaduridaya Gira Pulakarnishitam Vabhukada Tavanamagrahane Bhavishyati Yuga Yatam Namishena Chakshusha Bhavishayatam Shunayatam Jagat Sarvam Govindam Virahename Ashlishyavapadam Nastumam Adarshanam Marmato Karotuva Yatatatava Vidadatu Lambato Mat Prananatastu Saiva Napara. Victory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. O my Lord, congregational chanting of your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you've invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw on the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. O Son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. Oh, my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up? And when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name? Oh, Govinda, feeling your separation, I'm considering in a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I'm feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so, even if he handles me roughly by his embrace, or makes me brokenhearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he's always my worshipful Lord unconditionally.